with a healthy Evan Carter, a healthy Josh Young, a healthy Corey Seager, and hopefully standard performance from Adolis Garcia and Jonah Heim this year, that we can, kind of get back to where we were.
Chris Young runs the front office for the Rangers, former big leaguer, joins us right now in foul territory for the first time with the ultimate flex behind him. That's what you want. That's a prime shot setup right there. Oh, Chris, thanks for joining us. And do you see what AJ did to try and troll you right from the jump here in this conversation?
No, I missed it. What did AJ do?
No, I'm trying. Since I wore a quarter zip for the first time ever because I knew we were having you on, and every GM/president wears quarter zips. So I don't know how to do the collar though. Do you go collar up, like some guys do, or do you bend it over because you have a collared shirt on? So then you have double collars.
Yeah, mine's collar up, AJ, but trust me, I haven't perfected. When you're my size, you take what you can get. You don't. It's measures can't be used when it comes to a wardrobe. So I just take whatever has a Ranger T logo on it and try to wear it as best I can. But no, I'm certainly no fashion model. But Happy New Year to you guys. Thanks for having me today.
Thank you.
Faux pas. Yeah, we've had 2 faux pas today already.
What?
1, Josh Reddick wearing his Georgia, and then 2, happy it's too late. 7th is the
I
cutoff.
don't think it's too late.
Too late. You would think a guy that went to Princeton would know when the cutoff for Happy New Year is.
Well, AJ, I didn't know you're the police of when it's okay to say Happy New Year.
Thank you.
It's a week into the new year. I haven't seen you, but if it's too late, then I'm sorry.
It's okay. Happy New Year, Chris.
AJ's like Larry David.
That's
Go ahead,
right.
Kratz.
See what? Before since AJ comes on and is making fun of your belly shirt because you're too tall for any kind of normal size shirt. Did you hate AJ when you played against him? Did he get under your crawl?
The truth is, AJ and I, we got to know each other a little bit outside of playing against each other. And no, I really liked him. I think he's super smart. He understands the game, and he's competitive. And I actually appreciate guys who get under opponents' skin a little bit. So the truthful answer is no, I didn't dislike AJ playing against him. I appreciated kind of his competitiveness.
Thank you, Chris, because you know what you basically said? Suck it, Chris. And by the way, first guest ever. That leads me to my next question, though. So you had Will Venable, who's now manager of the White Sox. He went to Princeton, right? The next thing you would think of is you want to hire somebody to take his place, right? I went to the Harvard of the South. So is that why you didn't call me about the bench coach job? Is because I went to the Harvard of the South and you guys went to Princeton?
My guess, the truthful answer, AJ, is my guess is that your podcast is too lucrative and that we wouldn't be able to afford you. But nonetheless, we'll keep you on the short list for the next hiring process.
Perfect. That's all I ask.
We are doing well. All right, so I'm going to transition this to someone that's at least got a little AJ in him at the press conference. What did you think of Joc Pederson being like, this is our division now?
Well, one, I appreciate Joc's confidence. I love that he wanted to be a Ranger and that he believes in this team and what we can accomplish. Certainly, we want that in all of our players. And I think that's part of the reason we wanted to sign him is that he brings a little bit of that swagger, that energy. And I think we missed some of that in 2024. Coming off the World Series, I felt like we missed some of that energy. The guys were tired, run down a little bit. We had some injuries that caught up to us. And I think Joc will be a breath of fresh air. I think you guys know me well enough. It's probably not my style to publicly say that, but I appreciate the confidence. But I recognize how tough our division is, how much work we have to do, and we're the underdogs. Houston has had a long run of success. Seattle has done a great job. Anaheim's improved, and the A's are on the upswing. So we have a lot of work to do, and I just want our work to speak for itself and for our guys to go out and win baseball games. And when we do that, we'll be in a good spot.
See why. I'm going to take you back to 2015, spring training. You signed a little bit late in spring, and I caught your first bullpen. And we stood there afterwards in the 6-pack, 8-pack, whatever it was, and you said, I've missed the playoffs by one game or lost in the consolation game too many times. I don't want to do that again this year. And your focus on that was we had just met, played against you, dominated you in the box as I hit against you because, I could see your pitches really well. But anyway, we got to talking about it. And ever since you got the job in Texas, I sit here and I think about, I've always said this on the show. I think about that. Do you think about that and use that as motivation as a GM when you're making moves when you're, trying to put your team together, that I don't want to miss the playoffs by one game?
Yeah, Kratzy, it's so funny. First of all, I can't believe you remember that conversation. I mean, I'm blown away that you remember that. But yes, at that point, I think I had missed out on the playoffs on the last day of the season 3 different times in my career. And so when I came over to Kansas City in 15, I was a late sign. You guys had been to the World Series the year before. And all I wanted was another taste of the playoffs. And for me, coming there, it was the first clubhouse I had walked in a long time where the expectation was to win the World Series. And it was palpable, and every player in that clubhouse knew it. And I knew this is where I belong. And so the short answer is yes, I do think of that, not necessarily in terms of me missing it, but I really believe the players' careers are short, and every player deserves the opportunity to experience a winning environment and the chance to compete for a championship. And my objective in this role is that we are providing that to our players every single year. That's the goal. And if we're not doing our best to achieve that, then I'm not doing my job, and certainly I shouldn't be in this.
Do you look at other teams, and I'm not saying anybody specific, but you see other teams that don't do it that way? Do you look at it, and now this is your 3rd year, and you're still really new into this role? Do you look at it and go, oh, maybe I'm wrong? I know I won a World Series, so I guess I'm right, but maybe I'm wrong if so many teams are really not focused on doing it that way.
Yeah, I can't speak to other organizations. What I can speak to is every organization has a different set of circumstances, a different market size, a different period of their cycle that they're in. And right now with us, we are in our win now cycle, and we feel like it's our obligation to compete for a championship and do every move we possibly can to push us towards that. So every organization is different, and I don't know exactly what goes into the decision making in every place. But that said, I know these jobs are hard. I know everybody who has these roles, they want to win. And sometimes that's winning within a 3 to 5 year period. And sometimes that's in win now mode right, in this moment. And that's the way we're operating given where we are.
As an athlete, I care about what I put in my body, especially when it comes to protein. But can we also get some protein that tastes good? Come on, it's 2025.
Todd, that's why this podcast is sponsored by Orgain. Orgain believes real nutrition has the power to make a real difference in people's lives, and it tastes so good. Orgain's new 30-gram complete protein shakes offer protein-packed real nutrition designed to satisfy your cravings without any added sugar. They're also an excellent source of premium ultra-filtered protein with all 9 essential amino acids.
FT loves Orgain, and you'll often see it on the desk in the studio as we fuel up before and during the show. We love it for muscle support, recovery, and more.
Remember, there are no quick fixes when it comes to your health. If you want more protein, give Orgain 30-gram protein shakes a try. Head to Orgain.com/FOUL30 and use code FOUL30 for 30% off your order. That's the best offer you'll find, but you have to use the code FOUL30 for 30% off.
See, why you mentioned that you guys were tired last year after winning and you had a down year. Bruce Bochy has a track record of winning, down year, winning. So is this the year for the Rangers to get back to winning?
Well, if you believe in Bochy's pattern that he's established over the last however many years he's managed, and certainly, I can't speak to that. And I really believe that, last year's down year had nothing to do with Bochy as a manager. He did a tremendous job. Our staff did a tremendous job. But I think we all realized the toll that 2023 took on us, from fighting our way into the playoffs to clawing our way through the playoffs into the World Series, and just finishing the series really kind of banged up and hurt on a number of levels. We just didn't have the offseason that we needed to have, and then we got into the year. We actually got off to an okay start, and then had some injuries that derailed us and some underperformance that caught up to us. And really, I look at it from my perspective, I didn't do a good enough job of building a deep enough roster and doing the things that we needed to do to accommodate for the injuries and the underperformance. And I think we've tried to remedy that this year. We've created more competition on our roster, and I think we've got an overall deeper roster than what we had going into spring last year. So, Boch is such a wonderful manager. I want to give him the best roster possible and then let him go work his magic.
Listen, whatever you did, you won the World Series. As a player, there's some tolls that need to be taken, and so You pushed it. You did it. I get it. You're going to learn from that stuff, but you pushed it. So I don't think you feel too bad. That trophy is nicely shined up for our show today.
Well, the honest truth is that's the trophy from the Royals in 15, and so and frankly, it's a snow day here. Normally, I'd be in the office, but we have a snow day. We've got sleet and snow here in North Texas, so I'm home, and you guys get to see the home office. So it's not my style, but nonetheless, that's the reason for the background today.
I wasn't going to ask you why you have one of your AL West opponents' hats.
I was going to ask him the same question.
But
I was going to ask the same question.
But that means nothing.
The same question.
Nothing slips
It's
by.
So funny. It's so funny. You can see it. We represent all the teams for which I played during my career. So I'm a proud member of 5 different organizations, including the Rangers.
Okay, that's fair. We have to give you a hard time, but now I got a question.
Less.
You can't talk specifically about free agents. I get that part. But the part of the free agency process that I always have questions about because I never went through it, you're in the middle of it. Are you afraid as a GM talking to ownership, player of baseball operations, talking to ownership to make contract offers to free agents because they might use that as leverage against you? Because we sit here and we go, why are teams not necessarily offering, not necessarily the Rangers, not even a specific player, but why are they not offering? But then we hear, oh, well, this many teams were in on them. And it just feels like a tired commentary that, oh, well, they were in on them. Well, if you're really in on them and you really wanted them, go get that man. Like, you know what his value is. Everybody knows what that value is.
Yeah, Kretzy, it's a great question. And one to say I have it all figured out, I don't. Certainly it's been a learning experience for me on this end. Nonetheless, I subscribe to kind of the theory you just described, which is when we want a player, we're very aggressive in trying to pursue that player. And we try to put our best foot forward and make the best offer possible. And sometimes that's good enough and sometimes it's not. And but nonetheless, there's not a whole lot of games that we go through. It's certainly very straightforward in terms of our approach to free agency. But I think the key is just identifying the right player that we want. And then sometimes there is a timing to the market that, the player isn't ready or he's still receiving offers, or maybe we're not ready. We're still feeling out the market. So there is a little give and take with it. But nonetheless, when we want someone, we try to be aggressive and really pursue pretty hard.
So let's talk about what you've done, and then I want to ask you just where you feel like there's any holes or anything left, because obviously there's still many players on the market, even without getting into the individual players. But what are you proud of what you've done so far? And if you can, within that conversation, mix in, I did see some rumors that you had some phone calls with Max Fried, which I think we can talk about since he signed already.
Yeah, Scott. So what we've done thus far, we came into the offseason with a couple primary goals, the first of which is to really get our offense back to being an elite offense. I think our downfall in 2024 was that we took a major step backwards offensively. And so we tried to evaluate what went well in 2023, what our current roster personnel is capable of in terms of projections, and then trying to fill in the rest. And we immediately signed Kyle Higashioka. We felt like we needed somebody to really help Jonah Heim and split time with Jonah. We feel like we've got a great catching core, and the two of them combined, we think are going to do a great job together. And then we traded for Jake Berger. Jake is someone who we felt like has real upside, ability to hit the fastball, pretty even splits, and winning personality. Somebody who we felt like would fit our clubhouse well. And then lastly, signing Joc. Joc, as I spoke to earlier, is just an infectious personality who brings this energy and this belief and conviction, and has done a great job really in his role handling right-handed pitching. And in our division with the pitching that Houston, Seattle, even Oakland with their improvements, and certainly Anaheim, we're going to have to be able to hit right-handed pitching. And so getting back to being an elite offense has been one of our primary goals, and we feel like with a healthy Evan Carter, a healthy Josh Young, a healthy Corey Seager, and hopefully standard performance from Adolis Garcia and Jonah Heim this year, that we can, kind of get back to where we were. That's our objective. On the pitching side, we lost some key members to our bullpen. So really upgrading our bullpen and improving our bullpen, both at, really the leverage spots and kind of the middle innings and the floor of our bullpen has been an objective. And we've had a number of signings that we think have improved our bullpen and put us in a better spot. We're still open-minded in terms of improving our bullpen and finding the right leverage arms to kind of help us close out games. And then on the starting pitching front, we feel pretty good about our starting pitching with a healthy Jacob deGrom. We were able to bring back Nathan Eovaldi, who has been such an instrumental piece of our success here and such a wonderful person and teammate, somebody who really embodies our values, and we're thrilled that he's back. And then a healthy Tyler Malley, Cody Bradford, a young starting pitcher. And then, we have John Gray, Kamar Rocker, and Jack Leiter. And we feel like we've got pretty good depth in our starting pitching. So overall, we feel good. I think one of the things I've learned is I never feel great about things, that I'm constantly looking to find ways to improve or upgrade. But nonetheless, we feel really good about the work that we've done and where we sit at this point. That said, we know that going into spring and into the season, we'll constantly look for ways to improve.
Man, you got the GM speak down so nice. So nice. Like the GM. Oh my God. Laying it on
starts with a quarter zip, AJ.
That's
you got
right.
the look right.
Look at that. Look at me go. But CY, so those guys are healthy. Before those guys are healthy. DeGrom, Malley, Rocker, Lucky and Jamie finally got those guys to be healthy again, or what?
Yeah, well, look, we've given them some challenges health-wise, but yes, all those guys are healthy as we sit here today. Everybody is fully prepared to be full go first day of spring training, so we're in a great spot. I got a medical report 2 days ago coming out of the new year, and we're, knock on wood, in a good spot right now.
Nice. Okay, and then who's going to be your bullpen? If it was right now and you had to go into spring training, who's the closer? Who's the setup guy? How would you like to stack them?
Well, I think right now, working backwards in terms of the leverage arms, I mean, clearly we just signed Chris Martin, who an established track record as a leverage pitcher. We feel very good about him at the back of the bullpen. I'm not saying he's the closer. And we traded for Robert Garcia with the Nationals, who also we feel like is a leverage arm. And, then we signed Sean Armstrong, Jacob Webb, Hobie Milner. And to go with some of our young arms that we have, we feel very good about the sort of overall floor of the bullpen. And I think the way we've done it really, in 2023, especially before we had an established closer, we try to play matchups and really look at individual matchups, pockets, and set these guys up for success and go into each game knowing, okay, in these situations, we're going to have these guys available and try to finish the game that way. It could change. We're going to stay open-minded on ways to improve at the back of the bullpen and find another leverage arm. And, but right now, as we sit here today, I think Garcia and Martin in some combination, who knows, maybe Armstrong plays in there, and we'll do our best to close out games and hopefully, have some leads to work with and a margin of error.
All right, CY, since you're tasting yourself with your World Series trophy and your little poker, whatever that little glass trophy is, why do you have a Red Sox Orioles picture behind you? Because to my knowledge, what does that have to do with you? It doesn't make any sense. Like, I get the Mariners cap in the background.
He likes McDonald's.
He likes McDonald's. Oh, he likes McDonald's. He wants a McDonald's sponsorship. Is that it?
Oh, it's not the McDonald's sponsorship, and it's not the Hess sponsorship either. But it's that's actually the scoreboard for my first Major League win, and it was Rangers Red Sox in 2004. And a bunch of my college friends were there, and one of my good college friends, she thought to snap a picture of the scoreboard at the end of the game, and I'm so grateful that she did. And so it's been my background. I probably need to update it and get something Rangers up there, but nonetheless, that was my first Major League win. And actually, it's a great story. I was never good enough to pitch an actual opening day. But that game was the day they were filming the movie Fever Pitch, and it was Labor Day weekend in Boston in 2004, and they recreated opening day for that game, and I happened to be pitching. So that was the closest thing I ever got to an opening day, but nonetheless, it was my first Major League win and a great memory.
That's
You
cool.
are a movie star. I didn't know that you were a movie star too. Unbelievable. You got a face to be a GM, but man, that's awesome.
Trust me. Yeah, that's the extent of my movie career.
What is last one for me? What does Dave Bush bring to this coaching staff? Not many people know Bochy. Bochy and I were drafted together. He kind of really helped Boston do a lot when he was a pitching coach there, and now he's coming on to your staff. He kind of helped out in kind of a subsidiary role for you guys last year. But what does he bring that you guys didn't have?
No, thanks for asking. I mean, first of all, in today's world, there's no such thing as a pitching coach who can do it all. I mean, this is really a pitching department, and we have to find ways to supplement all the different areas that our players need. And Mike Maddux has done a tremendous job, and we want to make sure that we can support Mike with other coaches who can provide expertise in some of the areas that maybe aren't his specialty, so to speak. And allow Mike to do the things that he's best at. And Dave Bush is exactly that. Bushy and I were teammates back in amateur baseball. We played in Chatham in the Cape Cod League together, so we've known each other a long time. We played against each other in the big leagues and have stayed in touch. And when he was no longer with the Red Sox and we had the opportunity to hire him, we brought him here. And he immediately made a big difference in our front office, really pushed some ideas and some different thoughts that maybe we needed to modernize. And then now he's going back in the dugout as our assistant pitching coach. He pitched for Mike in Milwaukee, so they've got a pre-existing relationship, and they get along great. So we're really, really excited about the impact that Bushy's had, and it's our attempt to try to give our players every resource possible to be successful, and we think Bushy's a great resource.
You mentioned Mike Maddux, having played for Texas and Mike Maddux. I need a two-shot here, me and Scott.
Wow, you need me?
I need you. I said two-shot.
I didn't know.
Sorry,
they
I know.
You meant him.
Does Mike Maddux, when he talks to you, CY, does he come up to you when he's talking about players and grab his little mustache and go, hey, CY, I think we should really trade for this player. I just want to feel your heartbeat. Because every time he goes out to the mound, he grabs the pitcher and is like, hey,
Yeah, he does. You've got him down, AJ. That's Mike. He goes out there. And my understanding, and actually I've never really fact-checked with Mike, but my understanding is that it's his way of calming the player, of measuring the player's heart.
No, he wants to feel their heart. He wants to feel their heartbeat.
Yeah.
So he grabs them on the shoulder.
So if he's too nervous, he's out.
Putting his hand on their chest may be a little odd. So the shoulder, hopefully he can get their heart rate. But nonetheless, Mike, he's so good. He's just masterful, especially at the psychology of pitching and understanding everything that goes into it. So he's done a wonderful job, and we're very grateful he's here.
Yeah, he's great.
Yeah, he's great.
I can't let him go without asking about the White Sox. I mean, what is Will Venable? Is he going to lead them to not the worst record of all time this year? I mean, come on, give us White Sox fans some hope here.
Yeah.
Will, he's a tremendous guy. I'm so happy for him. I'm so excited for him. He's going to do great work there. I know he's prepared. He's ready. I think that I hope that we have helped him prepare for what he's got ahead of him. And, but he's a great person, a great leader, and I have full confidence he's going to do a wonderful job there.
I like it. All right. Do you feel convinced?
Convinced me. He convinced me.
No.
Boom, there you go.
Yep, totally convinced me.
There you go.
Will Venable just went from lounging by the pool, eating grapes with the Rangers, getting stuff out of his teeth with diamonds, to straight into the lion's den. It's just going to be every day, just something going on. And then when they start doing well in a few years, then it's going to be AJ's like, I'm the biggest fan of the White Sox. Come here, let me come on the field and talk to your players so you guys don't win another World Series so that I can be the last of the World Series winning White Sox.
AJ does watch every night, even through the pain, so I'll give him that. But Chris, awesome to have you on. Thanks for doing this. Our first year actually of the show was your championship year, so we picked up a lot of Rangers fans early on. So we got a good Rangers crowd that was looking forward to this.
Tell Rich thank you. Tell Rich thank you. Tell Rich thank you. Okay?
PR Rich.
CY knows what I'm talking about. Just tell Rich thank you. I appreciate.
Rich.
Thanks, Rich.
We love you, Rich.
Yeah. Guys, thanks for having me. Good seeing you all. We'll see you this spring.
Yes. You
Yes,
too.
sir. Good luck.
See you in the spring. We'll be out there.
Thank you.
Hey, everybody. Be sure to like and subscribe for more content.
We're back here every weekday, all year long, so do not miss an episode.
The videos are coming in all day. Here's another video you might enjoy.
baseball the way it should be covered.